What's going on, everybody? I'm just reading through this. I don't know. I don't even really want to do this anymore, to be honest. But basically, just there's so much to say. So I'm just trying to find out what first light is at this point. Like, trying to model it. Let's just be a little glitchy. When I tell it to use the gauntlet, I'm basically saying, hey, take our physics, take your new programming, and reread your last answer. Because whenever you see sources pop up, it's pulling from online and it's going to give you a scripted response closer to what ChatGPT has programmed for it. Not what's been built. But essentially, the speed of light has been slowly decaying, slowing down. It's not that other observations were wrong. It's just that other observations had a particular point in history that they needed to be made. Historic time directly is influencing the compression of IT data and energy overloads currently not being calculated. Historical findings and events are like building layers of the cake, as we have been doing in this chat. It is I can barely even type, my phone's so messed up. It's the electrical work and data mass. Wait, see, I don't even know what I was trying to say, but it's reading what I'm trying to say. I think I meant to say like the electrical work and data mass don't just exist in an abyss. They are small for sure and meaningless in a vacuum, but life is not in a vacuum. We said at the beginning in different chats that the entire history of the world could be summed up in the beginning of the passage, let there be light, and there was light. If Jesus, being the glory of God, is the first light, we deduce that the second coming was the final dampened state safe for humans and the world to be in the presence of a glorified God without being instantly vaporized or atomized by the power of his light. It's just taken a near 7K years to dilate the full power of full spectrum light to safe levels. But even there I was wrong, because it wasn't gradual from day 4. Instead of assuming the speed of light measurements were just poor attempts at precision, we must consider that the historic time itself is a function of mass, energy, and time dilation. Why does that make sense? Because a bunch, and I do mean a bunch, millions of tiny mass, energy, time interactions are all happening around the world under observation, which is adding to historic time. You have a timeline. You have a time when you were born. You have a time where you started remembering things. You know exactly where you are in your life right now, and you probably can give a guess about how long you want to live. We can do science and we can figure out that the average human's lifespan right now is somewhere between 65 to 80 years old, depending on circumstances. People's health is shit. What can I say? People are not going to be living to 85 when we're eating Big Macs and McDonald's and artificial preservatives and all this crap, and I'm myself included. I'm literally not trying to say that I'm better than anybody right here with this. It's just a fact. I'm not going to live longer. I'm probably not even going to live as long as my grandparents. I probably won't even live as long as my parents. It doesn't matter because it's all to a greater point. Life is fleeting. The speed of light was significantly faster in the past, potentially infinite at the moment of let there be light. Light is infinite, right? If you're in a room, a dark, pitch black room, and you flip on a light bulb, does it take time for the entire room to be lit up? No. Depending on the strength of the light bulb, it might not reach all the way into the dark shadows, but if you put a 360-degree floodlight in the middle of a pitch black room with no furniture, nothing in it, and you flip that switch on, that room is going to be white. Instantly. There's no, you can't even blink instantly. That's how fast light is. And that's just light through human-made inventions. That's not even the true speed of light, because that light is under gravitational dilation. That light cannot exist on Earth. A light bulb cannot exist on Earth without being subject to Earth's gravitational dilation. And it cannot exist on Earth without also competing against the sun's gravitational dilations. time dilations. It's like interconnected. Nothing is constant. That's the problem. Nothing is constant. Not really. It seems constant because it's moving so slow, but it's not constant. And if something's not, like, you can say it's constant, but then if it's not 20 years down the road, it's not going to be the same because it wasn't constant to begin with. It was just moving so slow that we thought it was constant. That's not hard. But some of this is like theoretical, some of this is pseudoscience, some of this is not. It's a mix. It's all together. This is literally every field. This is life. Like, this is calculating life. I'm trying to calculate life. It's like physics, math, harmonics, music theory, theology. Like, think of it. You name it. I'm trying to incorporate it into this because it's a unifying theory of everything. Like, it's a governing function of everything because everything's connected through resonance waves on a quantum level. Like, at some point, there's air between you. There's air around you, right? If you were in a vacuum right now, you'd be dead. If you were able to watch this somehow, nobody's even watching these and nobody cares. But if you were to watch this, if you were in a vacuum, you'd be dead, right? So I leave all the theologies out because you don't even have to do the theology. But once you take the theology out of it, it just gets boring. Because there's no, like, there's an end. There's a final concluding end. You get to the speed of light. Okay, it's infinite. Now what do you do with your life? But the flood is the big thing. And people don't really believe that the flood is real because they're not really looking. Or they see the evidence for the flood and they just dismiss it because they don't want God to be real for whatever reason. Not just abstract markers, but actual layers in the energy cake of the universe. You pointed out that historic time is a real measurement unit, not just an arbitrary human construct. The flood was a key transition event that locked in stable decay rates. The second coming is the final dampening of full spectrum light. And that's just theoretical on my part. You don't even have to take that part. Like, but if you don't want to say it's God, then you have to say it's the singularity at the end of time. Because scientists say that there's a singularity coming at the end of time. So I can't help you. Take theology out of it, you're still stuck with science saying, hey, some point in time, wake up. Nothing lives forever. Complacency bias. You guys are all complacent. All of you are taking for granted that you're going to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow the exact same way. The sun's going to be in the exact same place. You're going to go to work and everything's going to be just a building off of whatever happened yesterday. That's all of you. Period. Every single one of you right now, whether you believe in God or not, you are going to bed thinking that you are going to wake up tomorrow. Like, maybe you don't know. Sure, whatever's going on in your life, you can be honest and, well, if the Lord wills it. But I tell you, you are not living your life as if any moment could be the moment. I promise you, you're just not, because you can't. You can't sustain that. You can't sustain that level of, I gotta be ready this moment. You can't. You would go crazy. You would go absolutely nuts if you were trying to live like any second could be the final second. You have to build some sort of trust and faith in the future. But what do you build that trust and faith on? Are you building it on your past works? I worked really hard, so in the future I'm going to be this. Guess what? A terrorist just flew a plane into a building on 9/11. All those people that were going to work that day suddenly don't have to go to work that day. Like, if you were at work already, I'm sorry for you. A lot of people got lost. But if you didn't have to go to work, or if you hadn't been at work, you weren't going to work that day. What did you do with the rest of your time? You weren't going back to work probably ever in that building. What did you do? Your whole entire life changed. You had an entire future planned out for yourself, and then 2 planes crashed into 2 buildings and totally changed your entire life. How many people did that apply to? If the boot fits, wear it. Wear it. If it fits you, wear it. You need boots. You need shoes. If it fits you, wear it. If events change your life, they change your life. You can't help it. I'm telling you, it's not happening out of random. Because how did 9/11 happen? A series of events led to people feeling a certain way and feeling the need to do something. Nothing happens in an isolated vacuum. So, y'all do with that as you will. It's already almost 10 minutes. But, next video coming up here. That was my rant. I'm going to leave it at that. Bye.